They're talking about trolls. Like that's a really big topic. I mean, you stop to a new low when trolls are your only topic. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Really? I gotta put something in this chat room. Let's go ahead and do this. Time. What would we call this? You're at an all-time podcasting low when your main topic is trolling/trolls. Come to a real a real podcast. Let's see, 929 is my number, 477-1696. Discuss real issues. Stabby does. Should I hit enter? Should I do it? I'm going to. I'm going to let it sit for a minute and then I'm going to delete it. Now this, I guess, would be called trolling, but... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I just did that. I just trolled somebody. I don't do stuff like that. That's too funny. But I'm in such a good mood. I'm in such a fabulous mood. And that ball game last night, oh my gosh. And the fireworks were amazing. Just something else. Just, oh my gosh. It only costs like $10 a ticket? I mean, is that not cool or what? That's amazing. That's fantastic. Oh my goodness. Just, oh my goodness. I only had one teenager that was mouthy. That's not too bad out of two. So, well, out of two kids, I should say. Just one mouthy teenager. Life is so good. Let me check my board. Nope. No one raising their hand. If you call in, if you want to join the conversation, maybe you just want to listen, and that's cool. You'll need to press 1 if you want to join in. And I mean, my topic is Bernie Sanders, but I'm just having such a great day. And I'm thinking of tomorrow. Tomorrow. Not tomorrow night, but tomorrow day. I wonder if right now, if Robert, the killer of Eric, is thinking of how bad it's going to be because they're trying to get a new trial right. They've been having a lot of people write letters, even the former sheriff, Stanley Glantz, who was forced to resign because of my group, by the way. Yeah, we did that. We did that. Ooh, yeah. Just, this is such a high. This is such a outrageous high. I'm going to have to charge up my phone. I'm going to have to call a couple groups, especially the one J King, I think. They do a lot of social issues, and I'm going to see if maybe I can get Mark to call into his show as we're waiting for the trial. But I want to sing that song, the Burn the Vote, so bad. So freaking bad I want to sing that song. We are the people. We are united. This revolution is not leaving. We're not leaving because they want us to go away. They want us to go away so badly so they can get a new trial or get the charges dismissed. And they couldn't do that over Christmas. And oh, yes, Sheriff Stanley Glantz, your turn is coming in July. He has a trial in July because of that grand jury that we made happen. There is a trial for him as well. Oh, life is so good in Oklahoma. There is justice. That song, free at last, thank God Almighty, free at last, is what it feels like here. When we've been underneath this tyranny of the sheriff for 27 years. And these people in Tulsa have voted him in time after time. We did it to ourselves. Now we are freeing ourselves and holding him accountable. So we'll see what happens with that. You really will. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. Maybe I need to turn this thing up because it looks like my levels are really, really low. Maybe if I do that, is that better? Okay. Oh, Benjamin's not deceased. Uncle Maury, Benjamin's not deceased. Let's see. Let's do. Benji is not. I know everybody thinks he's dead. Is not dead. I gotta correct that. Because I know someone that would know if he had passed away. There's this one podcast, all they do is talk about trolls. Oh, I was trolled, I was swatted, I was this, I was that. Well, maybe if you stopped talking to trolls, that wouldn't happen to you anymore. I mean, my God, you dumbass. That's crazy. It's just crazy. I'm looking at the chat room of this crazy person. Science has proven it. There's this known person. He goes by the name of Stabby McHugs. He's well known on Spreaker and BTR. And he's criticizing the name of this person's podcast. He goes, the words, quote, science has proven it, end quote, is problematic to me. And she, oh, wow. She actually terminated her podcast. Oh, probably because I quoted in it. It's probably because I said that he's not dead. He's not dead. Stabby goes on to say, proofs are unusually mathematic in science. This is true. That's true. But I'm sure Debbie is speaking in colloquial sense, which she probably doesn't understand. You know, Uncle Maury has a point here. I thought science was about disproving things, not proving them. You know, the purpose of scientific inquiry is to further inquiry about them, not to stop it. You know, there was a head of the NIH, National Institute of Health, who resigned because of that fact, because they were stopping scientific inquiry with the, well, how do I say this? Well, that will get me into trouble, real trouble. Not just small trouble, but real trouble with real scientists. And so I won't talk about that. No, I'm not going to talk about that. But I do hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Well, I forgot the guest can't respond back. Never mind. Never mind. A guest cannot respond back. But I do think it's kind of funny on Skype that everyone thought I'd fallen off the edge of the earth. 1,005 messages. That's kind of bizarre. It's kind of bizarre. Let's see. Let's click over here. JP sent me a message? Huh. Okay, then. It's unusual. It was nothing of any significance. Probably a mistake. Alrighty, then. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Oh, Mr. Midnight Movie, they're wondering if he's still alive. Oh, I know what. I can go over here. Let me move this there. CDC. Oh, what's her name? Article on African American. I remember I read this whole thing aloud. It took me like 40 minutes. Let's see here.
Yeah, this one. I had a quote by the head of the Institute of Health. It was not this lady's quote that wrote the article, but she quoted it from another article. Let's see. What? Really? This is from a lady that wears a little white coat, acts like she's a scientist, but she's not. Like she has her doctorate, but she doesn't. So, I mean, it's really important to know your sources. Yeah, I know this. I know this. It's a complicated thing when it comes to the MMR. But this quote here, I know this has nothing to do with Bernie Sanders. Now, Cheryl Atkinson, she is a reporter, a person that gets into the crux of everything. She happens to be one of my Facebook friends, and we talk with one another. If I send her a message, she responds back because I was an insider on the CDC whistleblower before the big controversial names found their way into it. I tried to stop that, by the way. Yeah, especially the what's his name? The guy who claims that he's been wronged by society. Andrew Wakefield. Yeah, I get to see him later this week. This should be an interesting meeting, and in here in Oklahoma. So he may decide not to talk to me because I can be quite abrasive, but that's okay. I really don't want to see him. I don't. I just don't. But we'll see. But this is a quote that she put in her article, and she gave to her credit. She gave Atkinson credit for this. But this was a 2008 interview with Dr. Healy, who had been Dr. Bernadine Healy. And she'd been the former head of the National Institute of Health. Why am I talking about this? It's because they're talking about science in this trolling thing. This fail group, trolls or psychopaths, that science has proven it. I kind of highly doubt that science has proven that trolls are psychopaths, honestly. But why don't we go back to this article? And it does talk about susceptible children. And she talks about scientific inquiry and how that's changing. And that is why she left the National Institute of Health. And this is in 2008, and that's 8 years later now. Can you imagine how things have changed at the National Institute of Health now? I mean, just on a basis, if you look at it in that way. I need to check my studio. Okay. No one's raised their hand, but they're listening. Okay, you're listening. So we're going to go over this quote that Cheryl Atkinson acquired. So this is from Dr. Bernadine Healy at the time 2008, and this is what she said. Quote, and this is a long ass quote. This is the time when we do have the opportunity to understand whether or not there are susceptible children. This is a key term. I may stop my quote from time to time. Susceptible children. This is really important. Susceptible children. Okay. Going on with the quote. This is the time when we do have an opportunity to understand whether or not there are susceptible children. Perhaps genetically, perhaps they do have a metabolical issue, mitochondrial disorder, immunological issue that makes them more susceptible to vaccines, plural, or to one particular vaccine, or to one component of vaccines like mercury. So we now, in these times, to have another look at these hypotheses, not deny it. I think we have the tools today that we didn't have 10 years ago. Okay, let me stop right there. This is what she's referring to. In 2001, they discovered there was a problem with the MMR vaccine. This is 2008. She's not allowed to say who the susceptible children are. It's the African American children, 36 months of age and younger. All right. And she's talking about more susceptible to vaccines. It's that susceptible genetic component children. All right. Plural or to one particular vaccine. She has to be careful how she says this. It is a multi vaccine that they're